What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down UFC Fight Night Perez versus Taira. We got Alex Perez back in another main event. You know, he fought not that long ago. He was a big underdog, stepping up short notice. He gets a knockout really quickly. Now he's taking on a young, up-and-coming Japanese superstar in Tatsuro Taira, who's 15-0. He's completely unbeaten in the UFC so far. He's looked perfect. This is an exciting matchup for me. I know a lot of people are going to hate on this main event. There's a lot of brain dead, just dense MMA fans that don't understand what you're witnessing when you watch flyweight dudes fight for most of the time. Sometimes it's lame. Without a doubt, 85-90% of the time, these are the best fights on the cards, especially when you get those early prelim flyweight fights. These are two guys that started in that position, and now they've worked their way up to a main event. That shit's beautiful to me. I don't know. I don't see it any other way. I just love watching this sport, and these are like the best types of competitors. And just to give y'all a quick update for last week's fights, I went 9-5. Not the best. You know, I started out the prelims. I went 7-1. So I thought I was gonna be skipping my way into a perfect card, but no, main card really messed me up, and we don't even need to get on about that Jared Cannonier main event stoppage, because that was just absolutely terrible. Dominic Reyes got back in the win column. That was pretty cool. Ricky Tercios gets choked out by a 19-year-old. Didn't expect that, but I guess the odds makers and everybody else saw it coming. So it is what it is. 9-5, lost the main event. It's unfortunate. It seemed like it was going my way, but this is the nature of the beast. Without further ado, let's just get right into the first fight of the night. Julia Pilastri taking on Josephine Knudsen. I'm going to be siding with Josephine Knudsen. She's undefeated. She looks slightly better on the ground. I feel like that's the majority of the time. That's how I end up rationalizing these female fights early on the prelims. I don't know much about Julia Pilastri, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't even know if this is her debut. Let me just double check that for y'all real quick. Have I seen her before? I have not. I didn't watch her Contender Series fight. But either way, I'm going to be siding with Josephine Knudsen. She's just a little bit more proven, in my opinion. Moving on up the card, Shaylan Nurdimbeke. Okay, versus Melchizal Costa. This is a hard fight to call as well. I like Shaylan, but ever since he lost me a certain bet against the likes of... Is it who I'm thinking of? Was it the Steve Garcia? No, he beat Steve Garcia. No, he did lose to Steve Garcia. Yeah, nah. Disappointing loss, to say the least. I'm going to be siding with Melchizal Costa. I just really like his style, man. On the feet, he's like playing a UFC, like the game kickboxer class. Like, genuinely, that's how he fights. He floats backwards just like that. He also lost to Steve Garcia, man. Yeah, Steve Garcia is out here murking these, unranked lightweights, I guess. He looked decent in his fight against Thiago Moises, his UFC debut, before he got choked out. Obviously, he looked good against Austin Lingo. Who's not going to look good against Austin Lingo? No offense, big dog. I'm going to be siding with Melchizal Costa. I feel like he's just a little bit more smooth on the feet. And if it does go to the grappling, I don't think Shaylan can hold him down the whole fight or choke him, God forbid. I actually think Melchizal is probably better on the ground. So yeah, I'm going to go in with Melchizal Costa. I think he will find a way to get a finish. Moving on up the card, Jekka Seregi taking on Weston Wilson. Brother, Weston, me to you right now, my bro. Why are you still doing this? Is it for the clout? Is it to get bitches? What is it? Do you truly just love getting smoked at the highest level in front of hundreds of thousands of people? Millions of people online? Weston, my boy, you are a first-round knockout waiting to happen every time I see you, against all competition. No offense. This is just coming from somebody that watches this stuff. Fly on the wall. You're ranked number 242 in the world in featherweight. I didn't even know there was that many. Jekka Seregi put out Lucas Alexander when Lucas Alexander was looking clean on the feet against him. Just caught him. It shows that he has that change the fight knockout power. So I'm going to be siding with Jekka Seregi getting a first round knockout. If somehow Weston Wilson pulls this off, I might pick him every single time he fights forever. For the rest of his life. Because, whoa. Moving on up the card, Carly Judas taking on Gabriela Fernandez. Now this is an interesting one. I kind of want to side with Gabriela Fernandez here. Call me crazy, but I kind of want to side with Gabriela Fernandez here. Just take a quick peep. No, I don't. She lost to Jasmine Jasudavicius. You know what? We're going to take a risk. We're going to side with the 4-fight female Carly Judas, getting this one done with her grappling. Moving on up the card, Nate Maness taking on Jimmy Flick. That's a good fight, actually. Nate Maness has started to rebound from what I thought was just full can potential being unleashed into the UFC octagon. But no, he's better than what I imagined. Jimmy Flick, on the other hand, he just finds ways to pull out wins that he should never be getting, dude, and I hate it because it's so hard to predict. I'm going to side with Nate Maness. He should be able to piece Jimmy Flick up on the feet and avoid any of the grappling attempts that Jimmy Flick throws at him. But do not be surprised that Jimmy Flick, after getting his ass beat, musters that last takedown and finds a way to the back and gets a slick choke. Like, that's his game. Moving on up the card, this fight's not even happening anymore. Tagir Ulanbekov taking on Joshua Van. Probably my second favorite fight on the whole card. And it just got pulled out because Tagir missed weight. Death, taxes, and Dagestani's missing weight. The constants of life. Moving on up the card, Adam Fuggett taking on Josh Kinlan. I want to say Josh Kinlan. I do kind of want to say Josh Kinlan. Adam Fuggett is not that bad, honestly, but I just have a weird feeling he's going to get smoked. Josh got pieced up by Danny Barlow and kind of just poked at range by Trey Waters. I mean, Trey Waters, we've seen, he's quite decent. Decent. I'm going to side with Josh Kinlan getting this one done. I think they're gonna both put on a war. It's going to go to a decision, even though both of them are taking shots that should be putting other people out. That type of fight. Moving on up the card, Asul Almabayev taking on Jose Johnson. No brainer. Asul Almabayev. Look, Jose Johnson is, Jose Johnson is actually a tricky fighter. Don't let his 8 losses fool you. To me, his 8 losses really just show that he's breakable and he has like a consistent style matchup that he loses to, a consistent style nightmare matchup. But he's also pretty good at, just being unorthodox in every department. The thing is, he's taking on Asul Almabayev. We're not talking about that one flyweight that was undefeated and was exposed. He was fraud checked like not even that long ago. We're not talking about that guy. We're talking about Asul Almabayev. This man is going to take Jose Johnson down 50 different times, 50 different ways, and he's going to choke him out. Enough said. Asul Almabayev by submission. This is a lock. Moving on up the card, Garrett Armfield taking on Brady Highstand. I'm a fan of Brady Highstand. The fight that he put on his last time out was a war, hell of a comeback. I love when somebody comes back from the brinks of defeat, all bloodied, and ends up winning. And his outpour at the end, it just solid moment. It's the type of shit that makes me love this sport. But Garrett Armfield is just sitting here beating the likes of Brad Katona, which amazes me, bro. I did not ever see that shit coming. That's why I picked Brad Katona when that fight happened. Garrett Armfield has that power in his hands. He's dedicated to the craft. I think Brady Highstand's a little bit smoother on the ground, but I think Garrett Armfield has just good enough wrestling, just good enough get-ups to make it so it's still going to be a fight even when he's taken down. I don't think he'll be able to be just controlled. Brady Highstand would have to have a perfect fight where he's avoiding the big power shots, timing his double legs, making sure he's getting the control time, making sure he's not gassing out, and he's using those positions to really get his breath back, because the type of style that he has to fight is an exhausting style. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think Garrett Armfield is going to be able to get this one done. I think he might even put Brady Highstand out. I'm going to trust in Brady's toughness to either keep it like a TKO where he's guarding up, not taking too much damage, but the ref's just tired of seeing him get hit, or be tough enough to, survive the damage, still lose on the scorecards, but make it out of the cage without getting finished. I'm going to be siding with Garrett Armfield this time, but I'm rooting for Brady Highstand. Moving on up the card, Lucas Almeida taking on Timothy Kuwamba. What was Lucas Almeida's last fight? Is it what I was thinking it is? Oh, the Andre Feely fight. Oh, brother. Yeah, nah, bro. I think I'm siding with Timothy Kuwamba here. I mean, I already was. That split decision to Balajiaki, that was a good fight. The only UFC fight he's had so far. Other than that, he's looked damn near perfect in his career. I like Timothy Kuwamba. He's young. He's built. You can tell he loves the game. Only has 2 losses, and he's young, so he's going to learn from those losses. Those are real learning lessons, not just losses. I'm going to side with Timothy Kuwamba getting this one done. Lucas Almeida, bro, you're too chinny. You're too chinny. I'm going with Timothy Kuwamba. Moving on up the card, our new co-main event. And this is a good fight. I don't know why it wasn't higher to begin with. Miles Johns taking on Douglas Silva de Andrade. Douglas Silva de Andrade is one of the most underrated fighters in any division, point blank period. I don't know how he's so slept on. Brother, he has almost 30 wins and only 5 losses. And he's a Brazilian specimen with a hell of a chin, with knockout power. I don't remember his last couple of fights. Let me just double check. Got the win over Cody Stamen. last year. That's why I don't remember. He lost to Said Nurmagomedov, not a bad loss. He's lost to Lerone Murphy, Rob Font, Peter Yan. Bro, that's it. Those are his losses in the UFC. And then before that, Zubaira Tukhugov when he was 22-0. Dude, the fact that he even got to that point, like, if he wasn't so old, I really might be picking him here. I think I am going to be trusting Miles Johns. He reminds me so much of John Lineker. So much. He reminds me of John Lineker and Jimmy Rivera. It's like the love child of those two. No Diddy. I am going to be trusting him to get this one done. Look, he couldn't put out Cody Gibson, and that's probably saying to a lot of people, like, how the fuck can you not put out Cody Gibson? And he lost to John Castaneda. But look, man, I think Miles Johns is coming into his own. He's starting to get a little bit more active. I think he's just going to be able to time shots well on Douglas Da Silva Andrade. This is a risky pick. I wouldn't be surprised if Johns is the underdog. Like, it would make more sense for Douglas to win. I think I'm going to be siding with age, though, and momentum, and cage time recency. I'm going with Miles Johns getting this one done. Let's say it's one of his best career highlight finishes after a war of a first round. That's my prediction. And then we have the main event of the night. One of my favorite fights all year. Don't care what anybody says. Alex Perez taking on Tatsuro Taira. So look, Alex Perez, when I first initially started like deep diving into the UFC, started really looking at the regional circuit, started just falling in love with the sport. I would say back in like late 2017, early 2018. Alex Perez was super new into the sport. I don't even know if he was in the UFC at the time. I can't even fucking remember. All I remember is when I started watching this man fight, I fell in love with his style. He was one of the first people to chop down two people back-to-back with leg kicks. That's solid. And then it just became a problem where he was missing weight. He was having fights canceled left, right, and center. And that's upsetting. It's what's cool to me in the full circle is, you know, he comes back, he takes on people like Muhammad Mokaev. He's being fed just all of the worst matchups you can get. You could tell where the UFC views him. And he ends up sneaking that knockout win. First of all, he almost beats Mokaev. Arguably, he beat Mokaev. Mokaev beat him by failing takedowns. And then he comes out, gets a main event short notice step in, and knocks out Nicolau, who most people thought was going to be a stylistic nightmare matchup. Now he's in another main event, and if he wins this, he just sent back another prospect. He keeps his top 5 ranking, and he's in the UFC's good graces. So he might be shooting right back up to a title contention fight. It's a hell of a cool story. If you don't know all of that before, this seems probably just like a really lame last-minute put-together main event. But to me, this is a solid main event. And on top of that, this is the best guy to test somebody like Tatsuro, who needs to be tested. We just saw that Alex Perez can send you back. I don't think Tatsuro's game plan and his grappling style is the same as Mokaev's, right? It's not like a pressure-heavy style. It's more like he gets you and then he keeps you in like a web, entangled in a web until he finds a finish. And he always finds his way to get you to the ground. We've even seen recently that he can knock you the fuck out on the feet. I do feel like it's going to be one of those fights where Alex is worried about the takedowns, and then because of that, he's getting struck against on the feet a little bit easier. But this is 5 rounds. We've never seen Tatsuro against this level of a fighter. I really do feel like it's going to pose problems. Look, I know this is probably a rough pick. Most people are going to be going Tatsuro, and I might be fully stupid for not, but I am going to be siding with Alex Perez on this like career resurgence he's been on. I think he's going to find Tatsuro's chin. I think he's going to maybe not put him out early. I think it'll be like late, like 3rd or 4th round finish, because his gas tank's wearing and he's trying shit and it's just not working, and Alex is building steam, kicking the calf, you know, poking his jab out, down blocking, stuffing takedowns. I just feel like it's going to be a rough night for Tatsuro. If he's really able to just style on somebody like Alex Perez, this kid is probably the future. And I'll be siding with him probably every fight after this, because this is a really bad matchup for him. Overall, though, I do think Alex Perez, like I said, he has all the tools to do this. If his heart and if his head are in this, I think this is a safe win for him. I think he'll improve to 26 wins, keep his number 5, and like I said, be in the good graces of Dana and Hunter. So that's going to be all for today's breakdown. I'm not going to lie, I feel like I was flowing, you guys. I feel like I actually had some solid shit to say for once. So let me know what you guys think down below. I'm going to go break down all this recent fight news, all these cancellations and rematchups made and all this. And I'm going to go post on my TikTok. So if you guys want to check that out, follow me over there. I'll catch y'all.